Page 1. Sorry if I don't pronounce it correctly. It's a difficult name for me. And it's the Bharat, Managing Director of Women on Radio. Thank you for inviting me to this conference about Atmanirbhar Bharat, global conference. And ladies and gentlemen here in the room, good morning. Ladies and gentlemen in India, I hope you can see and hear me. Good afternoon. As Kofi already mentioned, my name is Timo Teghaus. I'm working as Head of Operations at Cognos International, which is the international arm of a company called Cognos AG, which is one of the biggest private education providers in Germany. With 3 verticals, so we are offering vocational training, we are offering academic training in our universities, and we are running management training institutes. We have been established in 1992, and since the late 1990s, we are also offering business exchange programs. And we do this since 2009 also with India. So 2009 we had our first training and business exchange program for MSME in India. And since then, I'm also frequently traveling to India. In 2010, I was there for the first time. And well, until Corona interrupted this, in 2019, I was traveling to India. Mainly traveling to big cities to give workshops there in Delhi, Mumbai, in Chennai, but I also try to add each time I travel at least a day or 2 days to visit other places. So I've also seen places like Chandigarh, for example, Jaipur and Dhaka. And this is important for me also to get an idea of the country and culture of the partners with whom I'm working. So this helped me to understand better also the Indian culture, and should also, together with the various topics to other countries, in India, my global competence. And that is exactly the topic of today's conference. So why is global competence so important? But from my point of view, or as you see me, as I'm traveling in many countries, it seems to be obvious that global competence is important for me. But I think for many others, it's the same, it has the same importance. We have often heard stories about global village, globalizations and internationalization of the economy of the cultures around the world. I think during the last 2 years, this Corona is having a setback. But still, I think, especially with the digitalization, we are still interconnected with each other. And the boundaries of markets has become less necessary. True for the digital services, it's obvious, but I think also for the traditional goods, the boundaries have become less strict than, let's say, 10 or 30 years ago. So the internet, the goods are moving internationally, and even faster the ideas from the internet. So if we're talking about creating new products, developing the business, implementing change in the company, because at the end of the day, change was the only constant in the last 10 years, I would say, 10 years. So the environment is developing very fast, and also the ideas are spreading very fast. Let's take an example first. We all have first thought of the agile tools, agile leadership, which was invented in many US companies in the Silicon Valley, the digital economy. Due to the business environment, this is fast changing, it's complex, it's called VUCA. There are a lot of disruptions going on. So you have to be fast in your decision making, but you also have to have structure. All these tools like design thinking, farm, and so on came up, and now they are used in many companies around the world and in many different sectors. So this is just one example how to do business, how to communicate within the companies, with the teams, ways and how fast this is developing. Another example which I can see from my own work, for example, we accompanied a project on the company in Atmanirbhar in Nissan. Nissan is not known as the forefront of modern leadership or technology development. But we have accompanied the program there to open up co-working hub. How fast I don't know the system how far it's going. And this is the global competence becoming more and more. So that's also the reason why we focus in our work, in our training programs, business exchange programs on global competence, and I think it always starts with intercultural competence. The openness for different ideas, for different cultures, without neglecting the own rules. The competence which I've seen pretty much we often in entrepreneurs manager from India. Because in India the situation is that everyone has to use different languages, different cultures, and I see there's already openness for something new. And when we reach or we have this openness and this full curiousness towards new ideas, it's easier to learn new tools, new methods, and also new styles of leadership for your companies. In this way, I think you are able to choose the best from many roles, and you can develop yourself, and you can develop your businesses in the best way. And this you can do with a global conference. Thank you.
We are also striving to bring more German experts to India and German organizations to India and to promote the vocational education and training systems. So with these few words, I would like to again thank for this opportunity for having us on board, and we are looking forward to working very closely with the Council General and with Gloman and other esteemed organizations to market the German role and training systems in India and to help the Indian industry ready for the Atmanirbhar Bharat. I thank you for this opportunity. Thank you.
To introduce myself, my experience in my company, our offerings, and sharing my experience with you. I'm born in Hamburg, I studied in Hamburg.
Select this. This selection.
My automatic same as they put signals on green.
Working for aerospace. We grew this company to 300 people, and I became the branch manager of Hamburg. In 2003, our main customer, Airbus, managed us to work with India. So I was the first touch with Indian people and Indian companies, and my role I was totally working with them together. In 2011, Airbus decided to build up an offshore design center in India, and those after the inauguration One office manager asked me whether I'm going to join this Apple's strategy. So I decided with my good experience and join Apple since now more than 10 years. I'm supporting an Indian company. Access Catalyst is a technology solution company who is focusing on engineering solutions. So we bring expertise in engineering, technology, manufacturing, and digital needs to the Fortune 100 clients in aerospace, defense, heavy engineering, automotive, energy, and digital sectors. With more than 3 decades of experience in creating innovative, sustainable data products worldwide across access channels with business ready across the entire engineering life cycle. From feasibility analysis, concept development, design, design optimization, virtual services, verification, validation, aftermarket service. I don't want to go too much in depth, but of course, I want to all belongs digital engineering, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, manufacturing, engineering, industrial 4.0 solutions. More than 2,000 engineers are working in multinational teams around the world. Global engineering centers are with access files close to all our customers in different locations. In Germany, we hired local resources for our offices in Hamburg, in Norman, Atmanirbhar, Augsburg. In Toulouse, we had a different bench people for our offices, and in UK, we hired local people. In the US, we have local people in our offices in Illinois, Indiana, Arizona, and South Carolina. Since more than 30 years, we have averaged more than 500 people working for North American heavy engineering OEM in the US. We are working for them in China and of course in India. Around 80% of our resources are located in our head office in Bangalore and as well in Chennai, Hyderabad, and Delhi. We are delivering engineering services around the globe for our customers' satisfaction. Thank you very much for your attention. Over back to you. Thank you.
Am I audible?
Yes.
So thank you, Mr. Gopi. Yeah, this is a global innovation. So yeah, myself, Atmanirbhar, the executive president for the German Master of Advanced Studies. So a couple of speakers actually touched the technical education, vocational education. Our institute actually focuses on higher education. So whatever the activity we implement between India and Germany, we are actually focusing and targeting the higher education. So our initiative was started in 2014, maybe just a couple of months before our Make in India project was launched, and just few months before Scale India project was launched. So initially, we entered the market with the name of Indo-Euro synchronization. Our initial experiences was actually very good because India also very much welcome to the new initiatives, and also Prime Minister Modi ji was actually welcoming all the topics, and also our Indo-Euro synchronization subjected and actually selected in a very sustainable way. So when we're actually talking about higher education and bachelor education and master education, we really don't want to generally create a new master courses, integrated master courses, integrated master courses. No, we really want to create some kind of ecosystem in every government. So that's how actually we started creating some kind of skill clusters. So initially we taken a couple of emerging technologies like automation, industry 4.0 and robotics. Even though my background was aerospace and I studied my master from Aditya University here, and my company initially started creating awareness activity and also creating hands-on activity. So okay, because of Corona, everybody now talking about virtual education, but we started similar kind of blended education in 2014 in the name of Applied Open Control Labs. So I prepared a couple of slides to summarize actually what we are doing, but we'll be sharing this information as a post-conference support. So let us give a chance to take advantage of that service also on this conference after this. So we actually implemented the three-way blended model by integrating the academic organizations, government organizations, and private institutions. And we've taken two initiatives for bachelor students having some kind of a summer school concept. We started collaborating with universities like Aachen, Stuttgart, Hamburg, Chemnitz, and also Munich. And our students actually used to come to Germany to have an experience of 2 to 3 years experience here. And I'm very happy. It is completely self-funded project. Then we are having more than 800 students actually who came to Germany under this initiative in the last 5 to 6 years. So this is name called AutoSol, a solution for automotive and automation industry. And we quickly realized not only for engineering and mechatronics topics, and also the IT and the new emerging technologies of IT also need to be adopted. And a couple of years back, we also started a similar kind of activity in artificial intelligence, e-mobility and driverless cars, and also IoT and IIoT. And we did not stop the activity with the small exchange activities and also having a little hands-on experience. And also we want to expand this kind of German technology and this notion of knowledge transfer to the multiple corners of India. So we started establishing some kind of a remote robotic control labs. So the Indian student can learn by sitting in India, they can apply their work mission places in Germany. This we started in 2014 with European Center for Mechatronics, where I started as a partner to my company, and now I became the president for Indian Affairs in the same organization, which is the 40-year-old research center. We now partner with the IIT University. And further on, by creating this kind of skill clusters and also with the support of Indian national government, national state government corporation and also state governments, and after 3 to 4 years, this cluster actually started getting the funding from the state governments. And then we have a cluster of skill ecosystem enabling certification centers, more than 80 across India, and which is producing next level skill workers and maybe next level skill employees who can come to Germany, and also next level group who can come to Germany to take a master process. These were actually given opportunity to start implementing and designing the master programs in 2019, and we did it. And now we are also offering the master programs and the blended master programs, 1 year in India, 1 year here in Germany. And we have a cooperation with Reutlingen, Pforzheim, Kempten, and also we are discussing with 6, 7 more universities across Germany. So in this way, creating some kind of presence of having technology at ground level and introducing technology to the ground level and taking through these skill courses and short exchange programs. And after that, from the awareness activity, taking them to the next level, having a project experience of 6 months or 1 year exchanges. And now we are implementing job-ready master program with the German universities. I'm very happy to actually create a new master program. What we are working with the Reutlingen in a completely new model. We are implementing such a master program where the student will be coming to Germany along with job in Germany. This is what we would like to address, that the requirement in the market and what German market is looking for skilled workforce to the German market to the third world countries, and also we are very much in line to our bilateral ties what we had with the Chancellor and our Prime Minister during 2019. Okay, Corona actually pushed back a bit, but actually we've given a good opportunity in virtual learning, awareness, and actually connecting the dots, because many are realizing, okay, some portion actually we can do virtual, some portion actually we can do back in India before they come to Germany. So in this way, in the age of 22, 23, 24 years, in a human span, which is very important and it's very crucial, already students are learning and experiencing this kind of German technology and certification courses when they are studying in bachelor. So this three-way approach, having certification through virtual education and coming to Germany with the short exchanges and having some kind of a long exchange with the 6 months and 1 year, further going to master programs, we believe we will be achieving the requirement of this current market through reaching the global competency from providing day one, which is actually the topic in line very much to today's conference. So we are here today to represent our company as German University for Advanced Studies, and which is supporting in both the countries and in the context of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Thank you very much for your time.
So our next speaker is Mr. Raju Gannavarappu, and he's going to join us from online. Raju, please enlighten us on the startups and the role of global competence. And you have been mentoring and nurturing startups there back in India. Over to you, please.
Namaskar. Such a coincidence, we were talking of global competence on the day Bharat, the India, has established and demonstrated its global competence. Today is a historical day in India. We have achieved 1 billion COVID doses got administered. That's a great achievement across the globe. Kudos to the Honorable Prime Minister and his leadership. We have established our global competence. So to say, what is global competence? Global competence is nothing but adapting and rising up to the scenario and making impact. That is what we are doing. I tell you a classic example. Corona has devastated lives, businesses everywhere across the globe. Right? But the so-called startup ecosystem has made its impact. When Corona entered into our lives, everybody was living under furiosis, loss of jobs, future is not visible, everybody is frightened. But in India, this startup ecosystem has shown that we are here to raise up to this scenario. The example goes like this. When everybody is looking for PPE suits, medical equipments, face masks, etc. and etc. And we never had such a great production capacity here across the globe, particularly in India. Our organization, our group was the pioneer. We were the 4th organization got necessary certifications in for producing PPE suits and face masks. We were the 4th one. Right? Started producing with a meager number of 20,000 pieces every day. And the greatness of India again, and the startup ecosystem again here is, within no time, within the time span of 3 to 4 months, in India, so-called small entrepreneurs, startups, and MSMEs rose up to this scenario, and the number of producers went up to more than 1.6 million manufacturers, and out of them, 90% of them are small entrepreneurs, startups. That is the greatness of startup ecosystem. And the pandemic or the problem gives an opportunity. Everybody knows it. I tell you, many innovations came from many startups around us who we mentor, we participate, we handhold, and those things. One of those classic startup innovation, probably you are all seeing it now, the upper coat what I'm wearing now. This upper coat is made of a fabric which is anti-viral coated, coated with the biomaterials. Jointly developed with one of our startups here in collaboration with one of the laboratories in DRDO, Defense Organization, research laboratories called DMRL. So we have developed a fabric which is anti-viral coated so that I can wear and go out safely. This is one great innovation came out of a startup ecosystem. The other thing I tell you, the whole world is suffering with plastic waste management. Single-use plastic has become big menace to the whole globe and polluting and questioning our lives. Everybody knows it. In fact, plastic is not the culprit. You and me are the culprit. Everybody knows again. We have taken up an initiative called the Green Mantra Initiative. We have developed a seed embedded compostable carrier bag. I show it now. This is a seed embedded compostable carrier bag, which looks like typical plastic, but it is absolute sustainable alternative to the plastic carrier bags we use in day-to-day life. We have started this initiative very recently, 6 months ago, at one of the largest Hindu pilgrim places called Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam, where Lord Balaji abode is there. And on an average, 1 lakh to 5 lakh people do visit and take the blessings of the Lord. Imagine one special occasion, and everyone carries back holy prasad called Balaji Laddu, Tirupati Laddu, in a plastic carry bag. So now our startup, one of our anchor brains from our organization, came forward and developed this bag where you carry holy prasad to your home, right? While disposing this bag off, you put it in your backyard. This becomes compost. This is totally biodegradable, and this becomes compost. And the seeds embedded in it. We have embedded, say, 100 to 200 the most sacred plant on the earth. So when you dispose this off, you would generate a great amount of green cover across various regions and protect our environment. These are the small initiatives, green startups, ideas are making great impact. So what I mean to tell you here is global competence. To attain global competence, the root should be at the startup level. Small actions will make big impact. Right? When we encourage small entrepreneurs, budding entrepreneurs, make them come up with startup, this is going to have great impact on business world. That is what I feel and I consider as a global competence. Thank you very much, the forum coming from Consul General of India in Hamburg. I congratulate Gluman for effectively conducting the great conference. Thanks a lot. Namaskar once again. God bless all.
So we have with us next an young and eminent speaker, I may say, Amrita Gandikota, who is now associated with German Indian Startup Exchange Program, a prestigious program between Germany and India. She will give us some insights about what this program is all about and how it has been benefiting startups in India and Germany, and how global competence has played a vital role in this initiative. Over to you, Amrita Gandikota.
Good morning, everybody. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you very much for giving me this platform. So quickly, I just want to take some time of yours and give a brief about GINSEP and what are the activities that we have been doing specifically in the startup ecosystem, bridging German and Indian ecosystems. So first of all, what is GINSEP? So this is an initiative by the Federal Ministry of Economics and Energy from the German side, and we work to build bridges between Germany and India, and specifically support startups for market entry into Germany and for German startups to set up in India. So that's the main mandate. And how we do it is we do it through our ambassador network. We have a strong ambassador network of over 130 ambassadors. Of course, we, as a GINSEP team, we are a pretty small team, but the ambassadors are our key players whom we rely upon, because these are subject matter experts who come from varied fields, from technical fields. They're also heads of companies. They're also startups themselves who support us with specific queries and so on. And speaking about what are the main areas of collaboration, especially between Germany and India, I first would like to talk a little bit about how India is viewed and what are India's competitive advantages. We first, the bigger ones are the huge market base, and we also have attractive foreign policies. And apart from the inexpensive skilled labor workforce, some of the other aspects are that we are an English-speaking population, especially when we are put in a competition with China. I think this makes us highly competitive. And also the aspect of frugal innovations, because we have a strong innate sense of grassroots innovations, but then taking that also to the next level of actually making them frugal innovations. So these are some of the competitive advantages which I have seen as a pattern amongst our startups as well. And speaking a little bit about Germany as an international startup hub, of course, cities such as Hamburg, Berlin, Munich top as the main startup destinations. And especially in Hamburg, we also have startups who have set up there. There's also Nivi Technologies, which is a Bangalore-based startup, which has set up in Hamburg, who was also, I think, incubated at the Airbus BizLab, which was again in the Bangalore region. And some of the main sectors where we also see collaborations are mobility, e-commerce, healthcare, and software as a service continues to be a pretty common thread all the time. And now talking about the competitive advantage from the German side, especially Germany is seen as a launchpad for internationalization to Europe, especially after London is not so conducive, especially for Indian startups as a startup destination. And also when I was previously talking about frugal innovation, the aspect of bridging our grassroots inventions with German sustainable and quality oriented solutions, thereby we get a great partnership. And of course, we also know that Germany is the largest economy in Europe, and there are other statistics which speak for itself, which, there are much more eminent speakers who can draw light on that on this platform. So at this point, specifically speaking about the areas of collaboration between Germany and India, in the past 4 years that we have seen a lot of collaborations in the sectors of renewable energy, also for AI, especially for German startups looking at India. There are a lot of German startups who look at India as for use cases, because India has a large market and it has a rich source for data. And since the policies are also a little more relaxed, there's a lot of outlook towards India by the German startups. And of course, Industry 4.0 mobility come close after that. Healthcare is also of good interest, but because of regulatory reasons, it's still not as high as mobility and the other ones. At the same time, some of the challenges that usually come up are one of the main ones, even though Germany is now still highly internationalized, some of the points that keep coming up are language and cultural issues. Of course, data policies, bureaucracy on both sides, both for German startups in India and for Indian startups in Germany. I think institutions such as GINSEP and a lot of other institutions are also helping us ease this process, and that's also our core mandate. And also on the product market fit and localization of the product in the other market is seen for which we support through mentorship. And so we engage also with many other network partners, and we have a strong focus also on corporate connections, supporting the corporates by giving them startup connections. For example, with Bosch, in the previous cohort for Bosch DNA, which is the startup arm of RBEI in India, one of the startups they engaged with was IngenCal, which GINSEP supported them. And there are also other German companies such as Siemens Healthineers or SAP, who have been with whom JINSEP has worked very closely with, and many other organizations such as VDMA, the Indo-German Chamber of Commerce, and quite other German institutions in India have also been partners in different stages of our journey over the past 4 years. And we also work closely with German trade desks and also other incubators and accelerators, both from the German side and the Indian side. Yeah, and very quickly speaking about about our activities, one of the regular activities that we have is the Indo-German Startup Week, which is our flagship event. And the main ideology behind this event is to first bring both the key counterparts of both the German and the Indian ecosystem on one platform. Is very niche, bringing in both these ecosystems and also bringing in the investors and the accelerators on one platform. And this year, we also launched the Indo-German Investor Circle on 24th September, which is a close-knit group of German and Indian investors who will meet quarterly. And we will have specific B2B meetings along with startups as well as part of the program. And one of the upcoming programs is the Startup Delegation Tours to Germany in partnership with GIZ, CEFE International, of course, Invest India and Startup India, who have been of consistent support over the past few years and also supported us with our past events. So for this year, our specific, of course, JINSEP is industry agnostic. We work with all kinds of startups who have a direct interest in pursuing either the Indian market or the German market. At the same time, to have a little more structure, we look at tech for good, healthcare, mobility, and deep tech startups. And one of the other focus areas is also to connect Indian tech talent to German startups to leverage the skilled workforce that we have. And so once again, going back to the ambassador aspect, we also have dedicated workshops and masterclasses conducted by our ambassadors. So this is both a platform for our ambassadors to share their insights and also a great learning experience for our extended network. So that is pretty much it from my side, and I'm more than happy to support you with any other information in this regard. And please write to me. I will maybe leave my contact details on the chat, or you could just look me up on LinkedIn. So yeah, thank you very much.
Great. Thank you very much, Ms. Amrita Kandikota, for your nice detailed information about the German-Indian startups. We have next with us an international law expert who has studied about the legal systems and now has some insights to share with us. Mr. Nico Sander, all yours, please. He's joining us here from in-house from Hamburg, the Consulate General of India's office.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Consul, for the opportunity to speak. It's a big challenge speaking about international in general. I think we are that probably. I'm going to present this briefly. I'm a lawyer who takes a more law. I work a lot with international clients, so I to almost 80% of my clients are not Germans, but are from India, UK, Brazil, many of them in South America, the US, Russia, different sorts of clients that build startups in Germany or have a business somewhere else. They want to move into Germany or collaborate with the German company. I also work a lot in education. So whenever there's trouble, there's some of the conflicts I got here at the courts, the disputes, and part of my work is I'm a mediator. In the Heidelberg at the university, with the master's studies in mediation, because I very much like it and I'm passionate about the communication in psychology aspects, in disputes and collaborations. And I think the whole topic of this conference, global competence, has a lot to do with this field of communication, collaboration, and competing. So we were thinking, before we were thinking, I think it was 2 days ago, of business that was not challenged by global aspects. So you could think of the smallest business, you will never be able to not compete internationally. If you have a really small business somewhere in Germany, you cannot only rely on German workforce, you cannot only rely on German clients, and you cannot rely on no other company ever steps into the market and competes. So somehow we have to be able to tackle this challenge and to collaborate and to compete with other markets. And that's an interesting challenge. There's a lot to say about that. What you need, I think, it's very helpful to have an open mind to other cultures, to study languages. It's important not only to study English, which is, of course, the most important language in business, but to get an insight in other cultures by studying the language of other countries, and to get to know other cultures by traveling. We were not much able to live about 2.5 years, but unfortunately before that, and hopefully in the time coming. Anyway, one aspect about this communication challenges and global competence, I think, is always the legal side of it. I know it's not that it's a boring topic or something. At times people don't want to take the time whenever they start a business or whenever they are enthusiastic about a new business opportunity. They want to enter the market or they want to just create a joint venture. Sometimes with my clients, it's not very big companies, it's small companies, and they have the idea of, for example, come from only the market of Brazil to Germany and collaborate with India, and they don't want to so much be bothered by the legal aspects of it. But of course, there's still, in my view, quite unfortunately, strict migration law. That's one aspect of it, and also to cooperate. You need solid contracts. You need to avoid conflicts, even in the best corporations. Conflicts arise, and I try to design contracts in a way that they help people run their business, and they are understood by the people that run the business. Also in peace international. So yeah, that's as for my background, I studied a lot in Hamburg, in Mannheim, which is south of Germany, also in Spain and Portugal, and I worked with, for a while in Brazil. Now I'm here in Hamburg, and I started my office back in 2012. I'm the secretary since. And I do work in the interdisciplinary team with auditors, with translators, with experts on migration law, with tax experts. We have the vision to fix this team because it's flexible now, which is very helpful at the moment. But many of them, many of the participants of the team are passionate about having one sort of solution, creating a corporation that is fixed, and then giving startups and basically foreigners to the German market the opportunity to one-stop solution. So you have tax sector, you get all the you get the contracts that you need, the actors of association, the national that you need to cooperate with other entities, the GDPR rules, and everything that's necessary to set up website those kind of things from one hand. That's the goal we want to mind now. Well, I leave it there. Thank you very much once again, and I'm happy for everybody that gets in touch with questions afterwards to answer them and to help out.
Thank you, Nico. And we have with us next, joining online, another speaker who is going to talk about the technology for training. So over to you, Mr. Lars.
Yeah, welcome everybody. It's a great pleasure for me to be here to join you during this conference, during this event. My name is Lars Hartwig. I'm the General Manager of Advanced Training Technologies. And first, I have to introduce a little bit our business, and then I make a connection to global competence. As Advanced Training Technology, we are a member of the so-called Schmidt-Krantz-Gruppe, SK Group. And the history of the group started actually in the 19th century already as a manufacturer for mining equipment. And up to now, the group grew into a conglomerate of a dozen companies and working in nearly 40 countries. So we still have a huge proportion of our business in mining, but in the last couple of years, we have developed our group into a conglomerate also and especially around the hydrogen business. We have companies in the group like Maximator, who is a manufacturer for hydrogen gas stations and a manufacturer for hydrogen test equipment like vessels, dispensers, and so on. A company called FEST is a manufacturer for electrolyzers, and GHH is working on hydrogen underground vehicles. So, and last but not least, we as Advanced Training Technologies, or short ATT, create training concepts, especially technical training, to ensure the competence and the knowledge between the sister companies in the group, but of course also for a lot of our customers around the world. We are offering modern training opportunities for maintenance personnel and employees, traditionally in hydraulics, pneumatics, and electrical systems. And we have there certain service and troubleshooting experience ourselves for a period of more than 30 years. And we live the tradition of action-based and practice-orientated training concepts. And over the years, we have trained more than 40,000 participants, and we heavily consulting also companies in Germany and on an international base in regards to qualification needs, concepts, and training programs. And within our continuous educational programs, we strongly believe in the broad variety of methods in our teaching and learning arrangements. And we are also quite proud to, having developed our own technical training hardware. And nowadays we invest more and more time in the hydrogen business, like I said before. We are very proud of one of our latest projects on international scale, which is the establishment of a training center for our sister company, GHH, in Udaipur, India. That started in the early 2020. For this project, we have developed a concept for instructors, a train-the-trainer program, training for maintenance staff, and as well as vehicle operators. The concept on the project is currently scheduled to go into regular operation at the end of the year. Next year, we intend to train also at Indian colleges. And we would love to identify and utilize more opportunities with companies and educational organizations in India. And to get the connection to this very important and also challenging title of this conference, Global Competence. We are an educational provider, and that is for us, especially for technical training, and that is a very rewarding business, at least to my opinion. In Global Competence, we address the areas of skill and knowledge development, and that on an international environment. We're creating, and that's the aim of every educational expert organization, of course. We want to create exciting learning journey within technical training, and using an effective mix of learning methods. And the last couple of years, we have digitalized some of our training elements. And that was twofold, of course. On one hand, to increase the effectiveness of training, as well as lessen, for example, the environmental footprint. If you compare this with traditional pure classroom or practical training at local site, which is done in a heavy technical orientated business where training is needed. So nowadays we do a lot of highly interactive e-learnings and added digital learning environments to the mix of our programs. And in workshop sessions, we train with our own training equipment, simulation, fault analysis on measurements for participants are possible. We strengthen individual skills with small group work, peer group learning, and problem solving, all general skills that I also relate to global competence on an individual scale. The training hardware we use is very, very close to real work environments, and that secures a safe learning, as well as this equipment is long lasting, easy to repair and to maintain. That was always our focus from the early beginning. And due to the use of digital learning environment within extensive technical training programs, we were able to save a lot of traveling costs, of course. Also here again, environmental strains are lessened. And to round it up, we train maintenance, we train vehicle operators, target groups like this, and due to this correct handling of hydraulic systems and similar technical areas, we secure appropriate or help to secure an appropriate maintenance of the very same, and that in the end increase the life cycle of vehicles and machines, and also helps to lower the need of spare parts. So lesser spare parts is an important issue here. And last but not least, safe work processes are always part of our training programs, and that decreases the risk on human health and even lives. And therefore, we believe this is a very rewarding business for us, and we enjoy the cooperation we have established with India so far due to our sister companies, and would love to see this increase in the upcoming years. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lars, for those interesting points on training technologies, and also giving us the background about your organization, the kind of training programs that you offer. Now, we are moving to a different topic altogether, and this is a topic more or less a hot topic now in India, which is about how India can achieve its export target of $400 billion. And the media seems to be quite upbeat about it. Every newspaper that we were able to see, Economic Times, Business Standards, they had some positive information about it. Indian export performance in the first 6 months of 2021-22 shows that outbound shipments will exceed the target of $400 billion in the ongoing fiscal year. Indian Minister Piyush Goyal said on Saturday.